I am a Christian who does not want a Christian America. Many of my Christian friends seem determined to return this nation to its Christian roots and to make America once again a Christian nation. Well, I say these friends are wrong, both in their romanticized view of the past and their dangerous vision for the future. First, to presume America began as a Christian nation is to rewrite history. To be sure, there were Christians among the founders of this country. Presbyterian minister John Witherspoon was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. The Reverend Frederick Augustus Conrad Muhlenberg was the House of Representatives' first speaker. But the primary framers of our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence included deists, ethical humanists, and atheists. Read Ben Franklin's biography and learn about his taking up with common-law wives and fathering children out of wedlock. This behavior hardly measures up to what most Christians believe to be the virtuous life. Thomas Jefferson published his own version of the Bible that meticulously cut out all references to miracles, including the resurrection of Jesus. It's now a well-known historical fact that Jefferson had an African-American slave as his mistress and probably fathered at least one child with her. This is not to take away from the enormous contributions or the profound insights of these men. But it does give a lie to the idea that our nation was created by Christians. The fact is, fewer than 15% of those living in the 13 colonies in 1776 belonged to any church. Judeo-Christian ideals and ethics were important in the creation of this great nation, but that's a far cry from the convoluted history that declares we were once a Christian nation. One of the motivations for those early settlers who braved stormy seas, harsh winters, disease, and death in order to create America was their desire to escape the so-called Christian nations of Europe. England had burned heretics at the stake simply for refusing to toe the Church's doctrine. France, Italy, and Spain also had imprisoned or killed those who dared stray from the government-enforced edicts of the Church. It was not to create a Christian nation, but to create a nation where all could worship as they chose, or to not worship at all. This is what drove our founders. They understood all too well the tyranny of religion when religion becomes civil law. One need only observe the brutal and oppressive Taliban to recognize what can happen when the separation between church and state is removed. And if you think such atrocities could never be carried out in the name of Christianity, then you need to read more history. Yes, I am a Christian who doesn't want my country to be a Christian nation. I want it to be an open, pluralistic society where the beliefs of every person are respected and protected. I will work personally for those Christian values and principles in which I believe deeply. But I don't want my nation to enact laws that demand that everyone else do the same. President Obama has been widely criticized by some Christian leaders for courageously declaring what the founders recognized as a fundamental truth, that the inalienable rights we hold to be self-evident are not for Christians alone. If ever we do become a Christian nation, we will have returned not to the tradition of Adams, Franklin, and Jefferson, but rather to that of Europe's despots. We will have installed the very system many of our forefathers pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to escape.